Good morning and welcome to another session on A01. Transactions, essential English language skills. Good morning, boys and girls. We are in the fourth session today of Module 2, Vocabulary. In the first session, I gave you a general introduction to vocabulary, the importance of possessing a good number of words at your command so that you will be better communicators. Ways and means to acquire vocabulary by reading the language, listening to the language, and speaking the language. In the first session, we also dealt with frame 1, that is, trying to understand the meaning of a word from the context. And I gave you some examples. In frame 2, in the session 2, on vocabulary, we were talking about synonyms. In order to express better, in order to communicate better, it is essential for a learner to have a number of words with the same meaning, so that when the listener is not able to understand you, you can use other words with the same meaning. Words with the same meaning, words which have same meaning expressed in other words is called synonyms. I explained to you. In the third session on vocabulary, we were talking about collocations. You remember I gave you the definition for collocation. Collocation is concerned with the way words occur together, often in unpredictable ways. That frame familiarizes the learner with the importance of putting words in proper combinations. I gave you some examples that day. After collocations, today we are coming to the fourth session of Module 2. In this fourth session, that is frame 4, we are going to deal with phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs, as the word or the term suggests, is a verb combined with a particle. Combined with a particle. It can be an adverb or a preposition, or sometimes both. That is phrasal verbs. Many phrasal verbs in English are idiomatic in meaning. Idiomatic in the sense that if we take them individually, that is, the verb individually and the particle or the adverb or the preposition individually, they mean something. But when they combine together, they mean something else. That's why it is called, some phrasal verbs are idiomatic in nature. A good knowledge of phrasal verbs is necessary, or a good number of phrasal verbs enhances, increases the power of communication. That is why, as learners of English, it is important to know about phrasal verbs and use phrasal verbs in your written communication, spoken communication, and also it will enable you to understand the language better. So that is why phrasal verbs are important as far as a learner of English is concerned. Let us take up an example. Say, for example, you are familiar with the verb put, P-U-T, put. You know the meaning. I put the pen on the table. I put the pen on the table. You understand the meaning of the verb I use, put. But when it is combined with some adverbs or particles or prepositions, the meaning we know about the normal verb put changes. Say, for example, put on. Put on. Put on means add. You have put on some weight recently because you are sitting at home and eating well. You have put on some weight. Put on, a phrasal verb, means add. The same verb when it is put out. Put out. The firefighters did their best to put out the fire. What is the meaning of the phrasal verb put out? Put out means extinguish, stop the fire. So see, the meaning changes. Put, first one was put on, means add. Put out, the meaning was extinguish, put out the fire. Now another phrasal verb with the put is put up with. Put up with means tolerate. Though the teacher was very strict in the class, the students tried to put up with him. The students tried to put up with him, tolerate him, poor man, let him live. That is the meaning of the phrasal verb put up with. Now, I have a list of 15 frequently used phrasal verbs here on the board. We'll try to understand the meaning of those phrasal verbs now. The first one is hang out. Hang out. Now, what is the meaning of the word of the phrase hang out? To spend a lot of time in a place. To spend a lot of time in a place. To spend, hang out means to spend a lot of time at a place. To spend a lot of time at a place is the meaning of the phrasal verb hang out. Similarly, the second one is beef up. Beef up, it has nothing to do with beef, but it is a phrasal verb. Beef up means to make something bigger, to beef up, to make something bigger or more, to make something to make something bigger or more. I think we will use them in sentences also just after this. The third one is clip in. What is the meaning of clip in? Clip in means to add or to contribute something. Chip in means to add or contribute. contribute. Chip in means to add or contribute something. Next one is count on. Count on. I told you we will use them in sentences a little later. Count on means to depend or trust somebody. Count on. To depend or trust. To depend or trust somebody. Count on. Count on. Next one is dish out. What is the meaning of the phrasal verb dish out? Dish out means it is actually to distribute or serve. To distribute or serve. Dish out. Okay. To distribute or serve. Dish out. Distribute. Distribute or serve. Dish out means to distribute or serve. Next one is figure out. What is the meaning of this phrasal verb figure out? Figure out means to understand or calculate something. To understand or calculate something. To understand or calculate something is the meaning of the phrasal verb figure out. Next one is easy. Get away. Get away. Get away means it is actually escape from a place. Get away. Escape from a place. E-S-C-A-P-E. Escape. Get away, it is a phrasal verb, means escape from a place. Next one is toy with. It has nothing to do with toys, but it has a different meaning. Toy with means to consider an idea or plan. To consider an idea or plan. Right. Toy with is another phrasal verb which means to consider an idea or plan. Next one is really a good phrasal verb which you use in your everyday transactions, everyday conversation. You know the meaning of the word look. You know the meaning of the preposition after. But when they combine together, we get a new expression which means something different from look and after. When we use these two together, look after, the mother looks after the babies. The mother looks after the baby. So look after means take care. Take care. See how the meaning changes. Look means something, after means something else, and when they combine together, we get the meaning take care. Take care. That is. Next one is put up with. Put up with is to tolerate. To tolerate. To tolerate. Though the children were very naughty, the teacher tried her best To put up with them. To put up with them means to tolerate. To put up with means to tolerate. Now, next one is sort out. S-O-R-T. Sort out. The meaning of this particular phrasal verb, sort out, is to order or tidy something or deal with an issue successfully. When there was a student's unrest, in the college, the principal tried to sort out the problem. Sort out means to find a solution, or to put this in order, or deal with an issue successfully is the meaning of the phrase put up with, to tolerate. To sort out means to find a solution, to solve a problem successfully. Next one is sort out, find a solution. Find a solution. Now, next one is tell off. T-E-L-L-O-F-F. Tell off means scold. When you are angry, you tell off somebody. Scold. S-C-O-L-D. Scold somebody is the meaning of the phrasal verb tell off. Tell off. Next one, the next phrasal verb is turn down. T-U-R-N. Turn down is the meaning is the meaning of this particular phrasal verb is very simple: reject. When you gave a proposal, a plan, your boss turned it down, rejected it. To reject. Now, next phrasal verb is turn up. Turn up means, what is the meaning of the phrasal verb turn up? To be found, especially by chance arrive. Turn up. All the students turned up for the activity. All the students turned up for the festival, for the function. It was unexpected. The teacher thought some of them would be absent, but to his surprise, all the students turned up. Turn up means to be present. To be present. And the last phrasal verb is wind up. Wind up, as the word suggests, is the meaning of that particular phrasal verb is to conclude. C-O-N-C-L-U-D-E. To conclude. Now, as I told you from these examples, this is 15 examples of phrasal verbs, you must have understood what I told you in the beginning, that a phrasal verb is a verb combined with a particle. It can be an adverb or a preposition or sometimes both, and the meaning changes. The meaning is different from the individual items. It is different from the meaning of the verb. It can be different from the meaning of the preposition or the adverb we add to it to make a phrasal verb. Say, for example, the best example would be look after. Now, look means something, after means something else, but when they combine together, we get look after, which means take care. Now, at this point, I would like to read a passage very quickly to you. You should pay attention to the passage and try to understand the phrasal verbs used in them. Will you please listen to me? For a long time, Smita was toying with the idea of hanging out with a very handsome man called Mithun, and then one day he turned up at her door, surprisingly. Mithun took his coat off and sat down. Seeing this, she could not figure out anything. Then he explained the situation to her. While driving past her house, his car broke down. It was outside. Suddenly, Smita chipped in with a suggestion. Chipped in. Third one, chip in, to add or contribute. She came out with an idea. Now, she said that she could easily sort out the problem because she knew a mechanic whom he could really count on, depend. She looked up the nearest garage in the phone book to call out the mechanic, to call out the mechanic for him. Meanwhile, she offered him a cup of tea and dished out some snacks. Dished out. You remember the meaning of the phrasal verb, dish out, distribute or serve. He accepted, but then she realized there was no milk. We have run out of milk. Run out means no stock. Run out of milk, she said, and went out to buy milk. While Smita was away, the mechanic turned up. He got along with mending the car while Mithun watched. When it was over, Mithun got away in his car without waiting Smita. In the shop, she suddenly remembered that her little baby sister, who she was looking after, was at home. She ran back to the house and saw that Mithun had left. Her little sister was crying inside. Now, I hope in this paragraph which I read to you just now, we have come across almost all the 15 phrasal verbs which I have mentioned here. Now, one more exercise I would like to do with you is, we have 15 sentences, and in these 15 sentences, one phrasal verb is missing. You have to choose the phrasal verb from the phrasal verbs which have already been introduced to you. May I read the sentences one by one? Number 1. We are hoping dash for a few days at Easter. What would be the phrasal verb? That is, to spend a lot of time at a place. To go away and spend some time. Now, the phrasal verb here is, we are hoping to get away for a few days at Easter. Now, get away, escape from the busy business world or busy academic atmosphere. You want a change, you want an escape, so you are escaping to spend a few days. Next one is, we can't dash this warm weather lasting. Now, though it is very warm now, at any time the climate or the weather may change. So, we can't count on, depend or trust, because anytime the weather may change. So, the best phrasal verb is count on. Next is, they are taking on more workers dash production. Now the production is 100 units per day. The demand is more and they want to increase the production. So what would be the phrasal verb for that? They are taking on more workers to beef up, to make something bigger. Beef up means increase. Next one is the local kids at the mall. If there are children near a mall, these children find it a pleasure to spend time in their free time in the mall if their parents allow. And so the local kids hang out. What is the meaning of the word of the phrasal verb hang out? Hang out means spend time. Hang out. Next is students dash leaflets to passers by. Leaflets. The students gave. What is the phrasal verb for gave? It is dished out. Now, dished out leaflets to passers by. Next one is I am going to dash with smoking any longer. Now, I am fed up with people around me smoking, and so I am not going to put up with. Now, you remember the put up with. To put up with means I am not going to accept this kind of misbehavior, public smoking. I am not going to put up with. Put up with means adjust or mingle with, etc. Put up with. They are smoking anyway. Next one is if you can wait a moment, I'll solve the problem for you. What is the phrasal verb for solve the problem? Sort out means find a solution. So sort out. If you can wait a moment, I'll sort it out for you. Next one is if we all agree, and if you are feeling hungry, if you all agree, we'll wind up. We'll wind up means conclude for the time being. Conclude. Next one is if everyone dash will be able to buy her a really nice present. It's our classmate's birthday, and if you all contribute to add or contribute, if you all chip in, if you all cooperate by giving a small amount of money, we'll be able to buy a good present for her. That is chip in. Next one is I dash the boys dash for making so much of noise. I told the boys off. No, tell somebody off means get out, get away. I told the boys off for making such a big noise. Next one is I briefly dash the idea of living in France last year. I briefly consider a plan, toyed with. Now, where is it? Toy with. To consider an idea, toy with. I toyed with the idea of living in France. Next one is he asked her to marry him, but she dash him dash. Now, while a student, he compelled her to marry him, but she said, no, not now. Now, how would be the sentence? What would be the structure of the sentence? He asked her to marry him, but she turned him down and said that I would be able to marry you only after the studies. Next one is, have you dash how much the trip will cost? They are planning for a trip. They are planning for a picnic, and before we start with it, we know how much would be the expenses that you expect to spend for the picnic. So have you figured out? Figured out means calculate. Figured out, understand, or calculate the expenses. Now next one is, don't worry about me, I can dash myself. So don't worry about me, I am able to look after myself. Look after means take care of myself. And the last one, as the riot police approached the crowd. So the crowd turned up with the slogans. As the riot approached, when the riot broke up, the police tried their best to control, but the crowd turned up with the slogans. Turned up. To turn up means to be present. A large crowd came in front of the police, by which they were not able to control, and they were coming. They were rushing towards the police with slogans. So this is how we use. These are all very familiar phrasal verbs with which you should be familiar with, so that it will help your communication and also will help you to express yourself better. One who can use more number of phrasal verbs in their conversation, in their written English, in their spoken English, they are considered better communicators. Thank you for listening to me. We will deal with another topic, another frame in the next time, in the next session we meet. Thank you for listening to me.